A few days ago, I was sitting out here making a video, getting ready to, and I heard what sounded like a drone flying this direction, getting louder and louder and louder, like somebody had a drone on my property, and I live in the middle of nowhere. But as I stood up and I began looking around to see, what's going on, it wasn't a drone. It was a gigantic swarm of bees. One of my colonies down there swarmed on me. I thought I was doing everything to control swarming. So today I want to tell you, bees can swarm in the month of July, August even. Oh my gosh, you're not ready for that? You think it's over, you think they're done. What do? We're going to take a look at this hive. It could be a potential swarm condition. So what we're going to do, it's in a single deep. Down below it's a brood nest, and they have a medium. I put a medium super on there, kind of a medium box for an additional part of their brood nest area. And then I have that honey super we took off that hive because they couldn't pull it out. They were just like, nah, we can't do it. So I put it over there 3 weeks ago, about 20 days ago. We're going to drop in and see how this awesome hive did, because they rock when it comes to pulling out frames and filling up honey supers. Let's see if they did the job. So let's get in there. We'll be looking for swarm conditions, and we're going to see how that honey super filled up. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is take a look at this honey super, and then we're going to go down into the brood nest area to notice how crowded they are. That's kind of one of those things about swarm conditions that you want to be mindful of, is if they're overcrowded, then that's what sometimes triggers colonies to swarm. But let's see how they did on this honey super. I've been bragging about how awesome they are, and we've had this in there about 20 days. How did they do? How did they do? Yeah, nicely drawn out after 20 days. Oh, there's a beetle. Oh, a couple of beetles, darn it. I was doing pretty good with beetles this year. I see some in my hives, but not much. But this one's got some beetles. Small hive beetle. Gotta keep after those babies. 20 days, they drew it out and starting capping it over. Pretty impressive. Okay, so there. Let's make sure there's no brood in the middle. That's one of the things I always want to look for. Swarm conditions. Are they overcrowded and they're putting brood up in the honey super? And that's a negative. No brood in the honey super on the middle frame, so we're good there. It looks kind of dark right now where I'm at. It's thundering around me, so got some thunderstorms just north of me. Why do bees swarm in July? There's a lot of reasons. Bees will pick up the swarm condition again, tendency, if we get some strong nectar flows. And so, they run out of room sometime, and they just start thinking about expanding. This hive tool is a J-hook hive tool. Let me explain it. I have not ground this off yet, and they are a pain in the butt to work if you fail to ground this down like my other ones are. I'll show you guys how to do that. You want to do that right now? How can I work a hive? Look at this. I can't even use my J-hook. It won't go in between the frames because the part that needs to slip in there is just way too big. I wonder who makes these J-hooks, if I would have any influence over them. If I said, hey, you make this too big, won't work. We don't like it big like that. My goal in this video is to make sure it does not exceed 8 minutes and 20 seconds. You gotta work fast. Or do some magic in the edit room. Oh, look at that. Good brood pattern, they're emerging. Look for queen cells. So, that's emerging as well. So they are laying, so the queen is laying up in this brood nest area. Get a lot more smoke in there. You never really want to work bees like on a day like today when it's dark and gloomy, rainy, thunderstormy, mainly because it seems like bees would rather a beautiful day, have a beautiful day where they can just forage and fly and enjoy life, right? All at once they're kind of fighting the weather, and then you're opening up the hive. It can create a scenario where bees are not that fun to work. So they've opened up an area. Look at that. Some people worry about bees getting pollen bound, or honey bound in this case, but bees are opening up some areas for the queen to lay. That's a good indication that we're probably not seeing this hive getting into a swarm condition. primarily because they do have room for the queen to be laying in. She's probably doing a good job down below. So what you want to look for is, number one, is the hive overcrowded in the fall, in July, late summer? Or is the colony out of room? Or they just don't have any more places for the queen to lay? That could generate a swarm in July as well. So like I said, I saw one go over my head. It didn't land anywhere on my property, so it just flew away. You kind of have to expect that to happen. So to stay ahead of it, you got to do this. You got to go out there and evaluate how much room they have, evaluate population, evaluate, can the queen lay, are there any queen cells, answer a lot of questions like that. Good brood condition. Look at that queen cell there though. Okay, so when in doubt, check it out. So I'm going to take my little spacer here and set it up so we can take a look at that queen cell and see if there's anything in it. I don't see anything in it, do you? I see nothing in it, so let's go ahead and just tear it open a little bit. Oh no, it's bone dry. Look at that. Bone dry. That's what my dad always would say. Well, it's good to check it out. This ain't light. But I do want to pull a frame up out of this very active hive right here, and I want to get one toward the middle. I'd really love to pull this frame up right here, and normally I pull one up over here and work my way with some spacing, but the time doesn't allow it today. So we're just going to go into the middle here. Use of the J-hook is so nice to be able to pry those frames up, even though I do wish it was a little bit trimmed so I could get down in there a little better. This frame will reveal a lot. It will show us what's going on in the brood area. Yep, queen's laying. Don't see any queen cells down below. That kind of pattern isn't all that great, but for this time of the year, it's not bad. And she has room to lay. So this is making us feel better all the time that this hive is not going to swarm on us. So we're going to let it hold its course. I'm going to put it back together, and we're going to let them fill up the top super, since they have plenty of room to do that. So don't let your guard down when it comes to swarms in the month of July. It can still happen even into August. I've seen it quite often. So get in those hives and check to see if they're overcrowded, and let's see if they have room for the queen to lay, and then let's see if there's any swarm cells. That will give you a peace of mind. So next time you do your inspection, look for those three things. I just made a new video on how you guys can get your bees ready for winter. Bees begin to raise bees of winter physiology, and you can help them out. Look at this video right over here. See you guys over there.